Attention all Splinterlands players, get ready to experience the power of nature with the newest addition to the game, the Earth and Life Soulbound reward cards. I am Ign Hl04 providing you with Splinterlands content almost every single day and here to show you all the tricks and treats of these new cards. So buckle up, grab some green tea and let's have some fun. Oh, and don't forget to give me your thoughts on these new cards in the comment section below. The first card I wanna show you is the Fungus Flinger. It's a really... First up, the artwork is adorable. I love it. Like, look at this cute little thing. All those things coming out of him, those bread eyes, I love it. Especially with the new ability, the Martyr. So basically, if this monster dies, all of the surrounding monsters are blessed with some boost on their stats with +1. And this is level 1, could be great for some other cards like the Palicor and some other amazing monsters for the Green Team, like Mercenary would be a great addition. Then also the... where is it? Come on, the Regal Patent, there it is. This card with a boost, doing 3 damage, 6 speed and 7 health would be great. I actually love it. So, look at this little thing. If you take a look now, it also gets blind in the silver level, which is exclusive to those new reward cards. I don't think we have any cards, or a lot of cards, like only the fire team now has one, and the green team I think has 2, and the blue team has 1 blind in the silver level, which is amazing. I'm not a big fan of the snare ability. I think this ability is a little overrated, but I think the card is at its finest as level 5 is a great addition. I don't like it to get more hit points because I want to die it as fast as possible. Especially if I want to play and against the Korra. So, do you remember Korra? I think you guys do. But if you take a look at cards that can beat a Korra right now, they are pretty limited, and the Suicide Shaman can be an option to demolish her. Giant Killer, Recharge, and also think about getting +1 in every stat, like instead of 2 damage, with the Obsidian it gets to do 4 damage, with Giant Killer doing 12 per turn. Yeah, this card is a great option to delete Korra with a Suicide Shaman. I will definitely try out this combination, and let's hop to the next one. So there it is. This time we have a pretty nice void tank. I like the artwork, and if we take a look at it, it even have the void shield in bronze, which this card will then be played a lot more. We have a heal, we have a void shield. Unfortunately, we don't have anything against melee. This card is especially great in rules where I think he's going to use the archery and void monsters. In the higher levels, it even gets the return fire ability. I actually like that a lot. I think maybe it would be better with the shield ability, but I think it can also be pretty broken. Also, rule sets without any shield are very beneficial to this card. Slow rule sets are also great for this card. And overall, I think it's a pretty decent tank. Let's take a look at some of the rare cards. First up, the Summoner. I think the -1 speed is pretty broken with the ability to play a Korra. Look at its stats. So Korra is, for me, the most broken Gladys card out there. Especially if you have her... I don't think a lot of people have her level 3, but a level 1 copy. Imagine playing her in bronze. She gets up to 4 speed. And then is doing 4 damage every turn. After she gets 1 kill, she's basically unbeatable. The heal is going to be so massive. And that's why the Suicide Shaman would be an amazing option to deal with this type of card. Also, I maybe want to point out some other Gladius cards that can be paired up very well with this. First one would be the Gobson. It's an opportunity monster that can be paired up very well with certain cards that you own. It unfortunately also only have one melee attack, but I think you can change this up a little bit. And also another card would be the Catrelba. She's also great, especially if the Dargle Strike ability. Maybe get a little bit of a melee buff in there, and she's doing 4 damage in the back line. And especially in bronze, she's pretty great. Now let's keep on with those new cards and take a look at the next Earth one. So this card is really interesting. I think in rule sets where there's a Scattershot ability a must for all range monsters, this card can be great. Although I have to admit, it only got Life Leech and 1 speed, 1 attack and 1 hit point. So keep in mind, she is needed to be at the higher levels. Like here it's still pretty slow, so it's perfect in the reverse rule set. But if you pair him up with Obsidian, she's going to get a +1 more magic, so it heals for 2. Like if we, for example, in a poison rule set, in silver and above, I would definitely use this card and try to get a little bit more out of it if I have her, and then maybe put in with Obsidian and a Regal Payton or something. I actually don't know right now, but as soon as it lands 1 hit, she is going to get 2 more health. So you have to really protect this card. I see some play with it, especially now with the Affliction ability, and then with the Dispel ability, reducing a boosted up Korra and getting all of the debuffs and buffs onto the monsters of your opposing team. Now if you take a look at the epics, we see one epic that I actually like at level 1. Look at it. At level 1 it has 7 hit points, it's not very fast, but it has Inspire. Earth has a great section of its melee monsters which couldn't live up to their full potential due to the fact they weren't able to get a melee buff. Also, I want to shout out to some of you who reduced the attack of this monster, because it also had before the first time I saw this card, I was like, yeah, it's broken. 4 mana, and it got the healing ability and the triage ability, plus strengthen and inspire, and I was like, yeah, this card is broken as hell. But now I think it's pretty balanced. It gives you a lot to offer, like Swiftness is a pretty good ability to have on your team. The Headwinds is pretty decent. The Strengthen is amazing. Also the Inspire is pretty good if you play a melee focused Earth team. And I love the artwork, look at this little guitar there. It's pretty nice. A lot of hit points to offer. I definitely tried out with some of the new melee monsters, and I think it can be a great addition to the team. If you take a look at Ava, the new weapons training card, it's a ranged monster. So you can put I forgot the name unfortunately, the Fane next to it in the back line. Or you play it with a other ranged team. So in standpoint of the rest of the abilities, I don't think we needed Shatter in this one, because we have Shatter with the new Summoner, the legendary one, Immortalis. I don't think we need the Knockout ability, there are not really a lot of stun monsters for the green team. And I don't think the Oppress ability is very good in this card. I don't actually know, but I don't think it's amazing. I think we could maybe convert those 3 abilities to get 2 good ones. Like 4 attack, maybe get a flying would not fit. What would fit this card? Tell me in the comments what you think. would fit to this card and how it would be better. But I don't think the Shatter, Knockout, and Oppress ability are that strong on this card. Hence, I wouldn't play it as often as I maybe should. And now let's take a look at a card which was stupidly OP in the first place, but got nerfed. First, it had the shield ability and not void armor. And it had, I think, void armor and shield, which would be in a perfect combination. Now it's still great with 17 hit points. It's a giant, so keep in mind Giant Killer is doing tons of damage to it. Also, void armor is healthy, especially very strong in rule sets where we have a resurrect. So if you have Assure, I would definitely try to pick up this card and maybe get to higher leagues to acquire new reward cards. And the Demoralize is also great. Basically, this taunt monster is amazing, and I'd love to play it in my new Earth teams. Now we are done with the live team. I think I showed you all of the important cards. Now let's take a look at live. So there it is. The card that I'm most excited of out of the whole live team. The Imperial Knight. At first glance, it didn't seem like a big deal, but keep in mind we can have a double resurrect onto the team. It gets healing in the silver levels with 8 hit points. And also, if you play it with a Wraith, you're getting a amplified Magic Reflect. Personally, I think this card is a little too overpowered. I think they will fix it. I think they will remove the heal or one of the abilities. But if it stays like this, I would also be very happy about it. I'd love to have a card like this in the game. But personally, I think it's too overpowered. That's why I won't give you an overview on how to basically use it more and efficiently. Now we can take a look at the other card. So one is pretty powerful. This is pretty underwhelming. Like, you're only using this card in rule sets where there is a melee can attack from any position. I don't think this card is going to be that great. To be fair, it only has 5 attack, 11 hit points. It's not very fast. It's not even fast in the highest level. In the highest level, it gets 4, maybe 6 speed. It has the Retaliate ability in silver. But I actually don't think this card is any good. Especially the Knockout ability is pretty weak at the current state of the game due to the fact there are not a lot of stun monsters out there. I actually don't like this card. Now a quick look at the new card of the Gladiator Summoner. First up, heads up of the artwork, it looks pretty decent. I love it. Then we also have to admire the +1 shield, which gives some extra protection. And now let's maybe take a look at some Gladius cards that I think I will use this with. The first one would be the Contuma. It's a pretty high attack monster with the reach and the bloodlust ability. In the higher levels it even gets the inspire, but I don't think anybody has now reach it. Also trample, nobody has it on the maxed level, but overall this card is great. The second one I want to point out is the Captain Katie. This card I will use her even at level 1 because it has free magic attack. The highest level it even goes up to 5 with the snipe ability and the divine shield. I love this card. Captain Katie is pretty amazing. The housewife that does so much damage. I love it. Also, I don't think there are other Gladius cards that are worth pointing out. Then this is my most favorite artwork of the whole set. I love the flying ability in bronze. You can play them in flying rule sets. This card pairs very well with a +1 archery summoner. If you expect a lot of shield, you can play this card. If you expect a shield bearer from the enemy team, you can play it. If you expect a lot of melee monsters you can play it. This card is just absolutely great. I love it. I want to own it. I want to own a lot of copies of it. I don't care what you else say. I love the artwork. This card is actually amazing, especially in silver with the right summoner that does 4 damage and has the shatter ability to get through your biggest monsters. Approved from me. I actually like this one. Now let's take a look at the epic card. This still is a card that I think it gets another rework. The immunity ability is pretty amazing, but I think with a Grandmaster Rave this card would be way too powerful. Keep in mind this would be a perfect poison rule set candidate, as well with the Thorns. The Thorns ability is an ability that's pretty overpowered, and you keep in mind this is in silver, and silver cards are very weak. Also, the repair is, I think, too powerful, and then add an Inspire and you have a card that's broken and cannot be played anymore. This card will 100% get changed. I don't even doubt it. This is too overpowered from my standpoint. At the current state of the game, it's too good. If they add this card, I'm gonna grind so hard to get at least 46 copies of it as soon as possible. Now we can take a look at the legendaries, and I think we have a really underwhelming legendary there. Look at it. Weapons training with magic. Okay, 3 life points, weak. Why do we need redemption? I don't know. I think it's just, hopefully it's just a placeholder. The rust is good, it does 3 damage, but overall this card is pretty, I wouldn't definitely say trash, but it's weak. I don't want to play it. The only time I want to play it is in rule sets where I can play a Wraith and it's Equalizer and I have enough mana to spare in a magic monster like this. I actually don't like this card. I think this card is pretty bad and I hope they change it up, that it's going to be useful. Otherwise, I would be pretty diminished and sad, and every time I get it, I would be like, oh, not again in Ave Sturgis. Why game? Why do you do this to me? Yeah, don't like this card. Wouldn't recommend. Now we have another card that got nerfed to the ground pretty badly. This card also had the ability to Magic Reflect, which overall is great, but now I think it's still an amazing card. We finally have a taunt again. So what does that mean for the live team? We can play a double resurrect with it, like we can play with the Shield Bearer, maybe get a little bit of extra shield in there, get +1 to 2 monsters, so basically you want them to attack this monster first, maybe put it in the, I wouldn't say second position, maybe in the third position with an opportunity monster or something like that. Let it resurrect 2 times and it's great. It does a lot of damage, it still has the void ability, and I think this card is definitely a card that shakes up the meta indefinitely. And I would prefer using it a ton. I hope this card stays like this with the Murder ability, and I think there's such amazing abilities and such amazing combination worths. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the Earth and Life Soulbound reward cards. These cards are truly a force to be reckoned with, so don't hesitate to add them to your collection. And now it's your turn to share your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these cards and how they can make your game more exciting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to share this video with your Splinterlands friends. I'm Ign Hl04, providing you with Splinterlands content almost every single day, so stay tuned for more amazing videos.